This is a journey into sound. A journey which along the way will bring to you new color, new dimension, new values, and a new experience.
Welcome to the Ghee Spot Podcast. I'm your guide, Katie Silcox, bringing you your weekly self-love soundbite. Join us for conversations around sex, spirit, and all things self-care. All things self-care. All things self-care.
This is a journey into sound.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
You are a Ghee Spot Podcast with Katie Silcox.
Hey beauties, it's that time of year where you're going to be totally bombarded with everyone's marketing around the new year and the new you. And I think there can be a little bit of a backlash where people are like, you know what, F that, no New Year's resolutions for me. And so today we're going to talk about how to do it holistically, and we'll talk about the tantric methods of how we can really ride the energy of the season of New Year's. But before we get into that, a little tiny love note from our sponsor. As always, the best ghee in the world, the only ghee that I use, you guys, is Ahara ghee. I trust it. I went to Ayurveda School with the female founder of the company. You guys have heard me wax poetically about the killer recipes on their site and all of the incredible flavors that they offer. They offer regular, they offer a brown butter ghee. They offer an incredible spiced Ethiopian ghee, which I think is my favorite. They also have vanilla spice ghee, chai spice ghee, so much going on over there. So make sure to use our promo code, which will be in the show notes so that they know that we sent you and you'll get a little discount. We also are so honored to have Apothecary, yet another small business that's run by, yes, a woman who pulled herself up by her bootstraps and created her own Ayurvedic herb company. And we think that you can just make your holiday shopping super easy and give people something that they may actually need. And you can do it based on their dosha. And you can get a sample. Links in the bio that we're going to provide for you guys. And you can also use the promo code GheeSpot10 and they're going to give you guys 10% off your order. Super sweet of them. The one that I really love is called Glow Baby Glow Set. And it's their product Glowing Radiance. I really believe in the power of herbs on skin. That tends to be the first place that we start to see aging and stress. And so Glow Baby Glow has some really great products from Mother Nature that have lots of vitamin C, antioxidants, and anti-aging adaptogens. So get ready to glow, baby, glow, and get those products from Apothecary. All right, lovers, on to the show. Okay, I love this topic. Unlike some areas of my life, I feel really confident in this topic because I have seen it work over and over and over again for me. And that is the beauty and power of manifestation and doing it from a holistic perspective, doing it from a whole body perspective rather than from a purely mental body perspective or a purely conscious mind perspective, but from a complete being perspective. As I said before, there can be some backlash, and it's understandable of the statistics that we all hear, how pretty much all of New Year's resolutions fizzle out within the first few weeks. And I think that's absolutely true. And so I'm going to provide some help, some support, some tantric structure and architecture and guidelines for maybe making some shifts and really maybe helping you guys see the way that we have to get deeper into this so that it's really effective. Otherwise, we get frustrated and it just reinforces the initial pattern. There's a really great phrase that my friend Chad said to me years ago, and it's like one of those post-it notes that shows up over and over again in the brain, post-it note of my brain. And that is, the goal is to keep the goal the goal. The goal is to keep the goal the goal. That's really fun to say. And that is an English way of saying something in Sanskrit, which is one of my favorite Sanskrit words, which is Smarana. And Smarana means remembering. Remember what am I doing? Like, what am I committed to? And to keep the goal the goal. So often, especially in this wildly distracting world, we forget what our goal is. And yeah, maybe your goal is to lose weight or quit smoking, and you don't forget that as your goal. But the word Smarana is, what is the deeper goal? What is the deeper goal here? And if we get so caught in the minutia, maybe we don't even consider what is the deeper goal. There is an ancient book called the Tripura Hacia, and it says the mind quality, the quality of your consciousness, and we can extend that to mean the state of your whole body, mental, emotional, physical, energetic, causal, intuitive, all of those bodies, the quality of those is what is going to determine how successful you are in your longings being fulfilled. And I think that is why and I don't mean to keep coming back to Ayurveda School and why everyone should do it, but that's why we created a year-long program, so that we could keep the goal, because it's required. We need that level of education to remember, to Smarana, to remember. The other thing that is tricky and fun is that there is a part of you, and I really want you to take this in, and I'll take it in too. There is a part of you that does not make New Year's resolutions, my sister. There is a part of you that is completely already done, already whole, already free, already here, already perfect, already enlightened. I mean, just take that in for a second. Like, even if it feels so far from your experience right now, what if that were true? That there's a part of you that is infinitely one with all and infinite love. And so we have to start from that place. There's a beautiful sort of truism that whenever you're close to paradox, you're close to something real. And the paradox is, I have to connect to the part of me that doesn't need New Year's resolutions in order to fulfill the also very important part of me that does. There's a part of me that is becoming somebody else. And I want to be able to throw who I am now, limited self, into the fire of who I am becoming or could become. And always holding as well this idea that there's a part of me that's already done and already free. And so we call this sankalpa Shakti, this part of us that has the power and longing to connect with the deepest desires of our heart. And there are different levels of desire. You can kind of hope for something or wish for something. And then there are desires that are intrinsic to the fabric of who you are meant to be in this world. And those are the desires that I'm really interested in. The capacity that we have to, there's really these two important factors when crafting your New Year's resolution, right? Number one, are you connected with the part of you that doesn't need it? And the answer may be no. And I think practically what this looks like is, how's your spiritual practice? How's your morning routine, where when you wake up, you don't just immediately forget your heart and dive into the endless to-do list? And I know that's a big challenge for me because I'm so excited about my to-do list usually. And then there's the to-do list, right? The power of putting pedal to the metal, the power of doing. And so we have these two sort of seemingly oppositional forces and tensions in us as tantric practitioners. And one is the true fact that we are infinite and we don't need to do anything and we're already free. And the other is that we are not free, in fact, and our perception is not free, and our mind and heart are not free of the great brambles of our pain body and our conditioning. And we need to, like a skillful gardener, it says in the Mahamrityunjaya, remove those vines that have wrapped themselves around our heart and have confused our longings. You know, our bad habits, so some of the things that we do that are maladaptive, some of our bad habits are just laziness, right? And you need to kick your own ass a little bit. But more often, especially with the people that tend to be drawn to me and our trainings, our bad habits, they have served us in the past really, really well. And, you know, even your bad habits have a prana Shakti. They have a life force, and they have been in service to you for a really long time. They've fulfilled a basic core need. And this is especially true of addictive compulsions. They have fulfilled a need that typically is related to the very natural and divine human need for love and comfort and connection and soothing and a feeling of community and belonging. One of my mentors says all addiction is a lack of real community. So we have to remember that our bad behaviors at one point served us well and now have become maladaptive over time. And so can I begin to look at them in that way? Like, what is this serving, and how can I, instead of, just being like, I'm going to quit smoking or I'm going to lose weight, like, please don't rip the pacifier out of baby's mouth. She is going to scream. How about giving baby something else to suck on for a little while? And then maybe distracting baby with something else that might be better for her. Right? So replacement rather than removal can be very powerful. So the core actors in what we need to bring together in terms of our resolution is our heart and our mind as individuals, but also learning how to align that with the divine will. One of my teachers, Dr. Robert Svoboda, says, you have two things at your disposal. You have my will be done, and you have thy will be done. The divine will be done, the universal Tao, the principle of flow, God, goddess, whatever you want to call it. So I've got to make sure that I know why I want what I want. How many times do you actually ask, well, why do I want to quit my job and do something I like much better? Why do I want to write a book? Why do I want to lose 10 pounds? Why do I want to gain 10 pounds? Why do I want to clean up my diet? Why do I want to get a divine partner and get married? Why do I want to have a child? Why do I want to clear all this crazy hoarder lady out of my closet? Why? We don't ask that, right? We just go to the goal itself. So the next really important thing is to maybe even you guys could pause the podcast and journal about this. Why do I want what I want? And that's another way of asking the same question, which is, what goals are in alignment with the deeper meaning of my life? In other words, you each out there listening have a unique purpose on this planet, and guess what? It is different than mine. And that's the beauty of this experience called life, is that we're all meant to play a role, and each one is slightly different, and that's what makes it so fun and interesting and also challenging. So how are my goals in alignment with the deepest purpose and arc and kind of rainbow of my life experiences? Can I see that relationship? And if I can more fearlessly connect to it. There's a very tantric idea that our deepest longings, our deepest heart's desires, bring with them all of the means of attainment. In other words, in the words of my dear friend Mayor Hogan, everything you want is already coming at you. It's coming. It's already here. In the Bible, it says that God knows the deepest desires of our hearts because he planted them there. Silly girl. You are allowed to want what you want when you figure out what is the deepest thing that I want. What is the truest thing that I want? Why do I want to lose weight, quit smoking, get a new job, get the boyfriend or husband or girlfriend? Why? And when you can connect to that, then you're connecting to the realm of God's desires, and they live in you. They were planted there. And within the seed of that longing, the divine provides everything you need to get them, to attain them. Prapti is the Sanskrit word. Isn't that wild? And so then you can do the next stage, which is let go. Surrender. So on one hand, you want it with all your heart because it's been planted there by Goddess herself. And on the other hand, you just let go because you know it's planted there by the divine, and intrinsic in that seed, just as we can see the acorn grow into the oak, intrinsic in the seed is everything there for its fulfillment. Surrender is so big, but that doesn't take you off the hook, because guess what? Divine has planted the seed in the heart. The challenge is this thing called your karma. And then the karma comes in, right? And the poor seed is down there in the soil going, I don't have good minerals in my soil. Why did you strip them out? Oh, divine little seeds down there saying, I really, really want to grow, but like there's some weeds on me that are crushing me. There's some roots down here that won't let me breathe and won't let me move. Can you please remove them? And that's called being a yogini. That's called being a spirit woman. That's called being a practitioner. And so divine has placed it all there. Now I have to do shit. I got to do something. So I'm going to put good minerals in the soil, and that looks like Ayurveda, right? Good self-care. And I'm going to start to remove the yucky excess roots and weeds that are choking my seed. And that looks like, therapy, examining your habits, looking back into the past. Like, you guys, not easy stuff, right? Like, in AA, you go and you apologize to every single person you've wronged. You get your shit right with God. You get aligned. You do the work. If you want to launch your business, it's going to take a lot of power and individual effort. And when you do that individual effort, then the seed starts to just do its own thing. And that's when magic, miracles, mysticism, aha moments, mind-blowing unicorn realm starts to come online. And you go, I can't even believe it. Like, guys, let me tell you the story of how this came into manifestation. It's so freaking beautiful. And that is the divine will taking over and doing all the rest. So, we live in an age that requires a lot of courage. And I love this word because it comes from this French word cour. I believe it's probably Latin, cour, and âge is the second part of it. And so cour means le cœur, like heart. And âge means age, the time of. We live in the time where a lot of courage is needed. In other words, we live in the time of the heart. The heart is this place of courage. The tantric teachings say, in order to bring an idea, a longing into fruition, one must have the capacity to deeply listen to one's own heart and to feel what's there. And then to have the incredible lady balls, which I guess we could say the incredible vulva, to listen to it, to obey its words, to obey it. My heart, I'm going to start crying on the podcast, y'all. My heart has been telling me to finish my freaking book and to get a first draft done by the end of January. My heart's been telling me that for a long time, and I'm fighting it, and I don't know why exactly, but I do. And that's where, like, this second part is, you guys are all so good, as am I, at just stopping and listening and going, yeah, I do know that. I do want that. And the divine's like, okay, and here's the next step. That part I find with all my students, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I've run into a lot of men and women and worked with them. And that part I find people, there are people that have a hard time with that one, but it's rarer. Normally it's, yeah, I'm wise. I sit down, and as soon as I get quiet enough and heartfelt enough and kind enough, Bindu Visarga starts to happen, which is divine starts dropping it down into me, the knowledge, the wisdom, or we could also say pulling it from the ground upwards. The hard part is then to listen to that voice and do what it says and obey it and trust. Trusting your own inner voice is equivalent of saying trusting God. So my hope and New Year's wish for myself and for you guys is that we could really pause, meditate in the heart, and ask that question, what goals for this year align with this deepest meaning and purpose of my heart? And I think if we do that, all the little micro goals will start to flow out like so much easeful babies. I love you guys. It's been a wonderful year with you in 2019. I hope and I know that so many of you from the podcast are joining us in 2020. And it's such an incredible group of ladies. We're sending out the manuals now, and I'm writing little hand love notes to all of you. And when I do that, I am seeing you. And it just feels really fun to send those out. If you're on the fence, get your booty in. We want you. We need you. If you're the right person, right? We want to call in the right group. If you are a woman who lives from her heart, if you value heart and smart, you're going to fit in really well here. We're super smart ladies over here. We love the science. We love the logic. We love the reason. We love the free thinking. And guess what else? We love our feelings, and we love love, and we love to treat one another with respect and kindness. And so if that sounds like the right fit for you, come on in and hang with us in 2020. All right, beauties, have a beautiful new year.
फूटे फूल अपन सुखे फूटे फूल